snack to have any time of year, but especially during the winter, is nice, warm, delicious chocolate chip cookies. The first step for this recipe is take out 2 sticks of butter and let them soften. This generally will take 45 minutes to an hour, so just let them sit out at room temperature and soften up. After you've let your butter soften for about an hour, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then set up your cooling racks to place the cookies on after you're done baking them. If you don't have many cooling racks, you can just use paper towels. Next, either spread grease on your baking sheets or spray them with a non-stick spray. Normal cookie sheets have no edge, they're just flat. This helps airflow, but I don't have cookie sheets. Baking sheets work well. First, take your mixing bowl. If you have a KitchenAid or electric mixer, I'd recommend using it. Makes it a lot easier. If not, you can always mix it by hand. The first step calls for you to mix 2 1/4 cup flour, with a teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of baking soda. And a teaspoon of salt. Now we can add to this our 2 sticks of butter. Softened butter. Now add to this 3/4 cup white sugar and 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar, which means it should be really packed in there. When it comes out, it should come out kind of like a sandcastle. And a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Which uses up the last of my vanilla extract. With vanilla extract, if you're going to be baking a lot, I recommend buying the larger bottles. Yeah, they're more expensive, but per milliliter, per fluid ounce, they are cheaper. And in the long run, it's going to save you money. Okay, now mix this together, or beat them together, until it's nice and creamy. I would start out with slow pulses and work your way up. Now add your eggs, one at a time, and beat well after each egg you add. At this point, it should start coming together, kind of forming a dough. Make sure your bowl's locked down nicely. Okay, then add your second egg. Okay? If you want to do a little quick taste test for yourself, feel free. Mine tastes pretty good. At this point, you can add in your 11.5 ounces of chocolate chips, and if you'd like to add nuts or whatever you want to it, I would add at this point. And I would actually start to stir this on slow. Don't overdo it. Now to make the cookies, take tablespoons of your dough and then plop them out using a butter knife. This will help keep them rounded. The recipe I'm using makes approximately 5 dozen, but it really does just depend on the size you're doing for each one. Now repeat this process with all the trays you have. Now that you've filled up your trays, you can bake these for 7 to 9 minutes in your oven. If you get them out a few minutes earlier and just let them sit and cool, it usually makes them chewier. So I'm going to cook these for about 6 or 7 minutes and then let them cool down slowly so that they become chewy. But you've probably had cookies in your life, so you know the color you're going for, and if you want them harder and more solid, just bake them a minute or two longer. Now that these cookies have been cooking for about 7, it actually took about 8 minutes. I'm going to take them out and let them finish their cooling on top. This will help them become a little more chewy. As you can see, they're a little brown on the edges. I might take them out a little bit earlier next time, but if you want them darker than this, go about 8.5, 9 minutes. If you like them lighter, just do 7 or even 6.5. But once they start cooling, try to get under them the best you can and transfer them to your cooling rack. Try to be gentle, yet kind of forceful. Really just try to get underneath them. Cookies are fairly easy to make and, you know, really customizable. You can use caramel in them, you can use white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, nuts, oatmeal cookies. Feel free to play around and make up your own cookie. These cookies are good and delicious. Take them out early if you want them chewy, and feel free to change around the recipe as much as you need to. More or less, or you can even just store some in the freezer if you want. So, good luck. I hope you try this recipe. Thanks for watching.